Thanks, Anne-Marie. Tom Cruise is doing what Tom Cruise does best, bringing the big stunts to the big screen. Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. It is finally in theaters, clocking in at just under 3 hours. So is it worth your time? Here with his thoughts on that and more, our film critic Rad, and you're just back from Cannes too. How was it, by the way?
I mean, it was glorious, you know,
Yeah.
like beautiful weather, eating tartare and millefleur.
I love tartare.
Exactly. I think I said that right, millefleur. And then of course, like getting all dressed up for premieres. I was sitting a few rows behind Rihanna at one of these premieres.
That's
so
cool.
yeah, like not on my bingo card for this year's
No.
festival. And then you come back down to reality.
Yes.
This is our life.
But we're happy you're back down to reality,
exactly.
which means you're going to be talking us through the movies of the week, really. Let's talk about Tom Cruise. He's Tom Cruising. He's back for Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. Who would like this one?
I mean, look, like, I think if you enjoyed the last Bond movie, No Time to Die, or like Furiosa, you know, you probably appreciate this, because like this one, these are big spectacles. They deliver on the spectacle, but they're also overlong and flawed and kind of exhausting a bit. And that's how I felt
Okay,
about
tell
The
me,
Final Reckoning.
how did you feel?
Well, I mean, you said it's almost 3 hours, right? And it's almost 3 hours because it's trying to do so much. And I really appreciated a lot of what it was going for, because on the one hand, it's a movie that wants to speak to the current moment. And when I say speak to the current moment, it's about the threat of AI. It's about how we live in a post-truth world because of the internet. It's yeah, like Tom Cruise, he's squaring off against these radicalized young men who are radicalized by the evil AI in the movie, right? So speaking of now, but also it's a movie that's very stuck in the past. It wants to celebrate the 30 years of this awe-inspiring franchise. And so the movie is very much in awe of itself, and it spends a lot of energy on that.
I know people like that.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, who we're talking about here.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so overall?
Overall, long, exhausting, but some of the most beautiful spectacle you will see in theaters.
That's very cool. Speaking of cool, Lilo and Stitch, we just had them here on your morning this week, or the voices behind Lilo and Stitch. You saw this movie. Who's this one for?
I mean, I think if you like Paddington in Peru or the Aladdin redo, you might enjoy this, because I mean, those are movies that have they don't hold a candle to their predecessors, right? They are flawed, but then they do have their own charms in revisiting, trying to bring back the old charms. And so that's the same with this Lilo and Stitch. Like, we're not kidding ourselves. This is not going to hold a candle to the original movie, the beautifully hand-drawn animated original movie, right? And you know, typically I can't stand these Disney live-action remakes. They're so soulless.
I feel like there's a button here.
There is a but. They're soulless. They're often hideous to look at, but the but here is that there's a charm to this, and the charm is largely in its cast, especially this young girl playing Lilo, Maya Kealoha. Like, she brings a charm and a soul that these Disney live-action remakes don't typically have, and she brings a sort of charm that an animated version just couldn't possibly bring. So I mean, I found this more bearable. Yeah, so it's all adorable stuff.
It's so
and
cute.
Lilo and Stitch is pretty low stakes, so when you're remaking that, there's not as much emphasis on trying to capture the glory of the original.
And Anne-Marie was saying it's a bit of an emotional roller coaster. She wasn't expecting to cry.
Yeah, well, and that's because, again, the cast brings that earthiness and actually gets you in your feelings.
He's so cute. All right, moving on to our last movie I want to talk about. Tim Robinson and Paul Rudd teaming up.
Yes.
This movie's called Friendship.
Yeah.
Who would like this one?
I mean, this is for people who like the kind of artful, stinging comedies like Year of the Dog, which was actually Mike White of White Lotus fame's first movie, and also Force Majeure, because it's a movie that wants to make you uncomfortable. That's the brand of comedy it is, and not a lot of people could take that, but it is actually well worth it, especially if you're a fan of Tim Robinson of I Think You Should Leave fame, like awkward, cringe comedy is what he does. I
do like that.
Yeah, and what he really goes for is making you be embarrassed by the most cringy aspects of yourselves, and he just rubs your face in it. And so, because I mean, it's a movie where he's playing like a really awkward guy who rubs a lot of people the wrong way, including his very patient wife, and then his new neighbor, who's played by Paul Rudd.
I love Paul Rudd.
Yeah, well, he's great, and he's actually playing off his own personality in this in a lot of ways, and a lot of people are going to get those winks in there. But yeah, it's about them developing a friendship that turns hostile. And look, I mean, the movie has a weird off-tempo comic sensibility.
Okay,
yeah,
that's what I was going to ask.
And it's the way it's a movie that not a lot of people are going to go for, but I absolutely recommend it, because you're either going to die laughing or you're going to be like dying of embarrassment, because you're seeing the most embarrassing parts of yourself in the behavior between these men.
Oh, very interesting. And Paul Rudd's mustache, like a separate character. Let's talk about that. All right, Brad, great to see you as always. Welcome back.
Thanks, Brad.
If you like that video, make sure to subscribe to the Your Morning YouTube feed, where you can find all kinds of new content posted every weekday morning.